I'm gonna go ahead and see this where I get confused. I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order. And then, we don't do roll call because, right? We don't do roll call now.
Well,
No.
we could,
So.
the recorder will just reflect that we're present, I guess.
Yeah. So the, the certification of compliance with Wisconsin open meeting law.
Yes, they were met.
Okay. And then feature program is Savannah Myers on fostering entrepreneurial ecosystems in Kenosha County.
Yes.
Before you do that, can you
Yeah,
walk me through the camera spiel?
before we do that, Joe
Okay.
Tenty.
I think some of you may have heard this spiel already, but at the request of Chairperson Uhas, we are working to begin to live video stream county board committee meetings the same way that we do full county board meetings. And we think we found a good solution with the Meeting Owl, that device that looks like an owl. That has an omnidirectional camera in the top of it that will automatically train itself on wherever the speaking is coming from in the room, and it's pretty good. It does a pretty good job. Sometimes it has a hard time deciding who to focus on, but it beats having a person in the middle of the table monitoring the camera manually. So this will stream through the county's YouTube channel the same way county board meetings do. We haven't advertised it publicly yet. It's kind of a soft launch. This is technically a public video tonight, so there may be somebody tuned in, but once we're truly comfortable with this, which I think will be after finance tomorrow night, then we will advertise this. So Smile, you are on camera. People can see you and hear what you're saying live, and then the videos will also live on the YouTube channel thereafter. There are separate playlists for each committee, so they're organized that way. So more public information on that to come.
Hey, Joe,
Yes, sir.
so did I understand right that it only will, I'll only be on camera when I'm speaking?
Theoretically, if the person next to you is speaking,
Right.
you might be on along with
Right.
that person, but generally speaking, it'll be on the person speaking. It also has a split screen function. So if Supervisor Brookhouse, we're talking at the same time as Savannah, it actually might split the screen and show them. So we've experimented with all of this, and as I said, it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good for an automated device.
Do you want to start talking for a second? Or I can show right now.
That's-
See, me and Joe are both talking right now, so it's picking both of us up. So it splits that screen, and then once I stop talking, if someone starts talking across the table, then it will start picking you up too. So it has a second delay, but it's a whole second if you're watching.
Pretty cool.
Very confident. All right,
That is my spiel. Thank you.
thanks, Joe. And now you're up.
Perfect. Let me share my screen on there. Did it come up? It came up.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, so say I'm excited that I could help kick off our PDAC technology. So hopefully my hair and everything looks good today because it's ready to rumble. So I am Savannah Myers. I'm our community development educator. I have been in extension for exactly 1 year as of today. So thank you so much. So I feel like it was very fitting to celebrate with my first presentation at PDAC tonight. So when I first got hired, we were talking about a lot of different things with the county exec on where this position was going to go, what was going to happen. It was kind of different with the last person in this position. So they picked a lot of different areas for me to focus on. And one of those was entrepreneurship. And I've been doing a lot of really awesome work talking to a lot of awesome people. So I kind of want to highlight some of that for you all today with fostering entrepreneurial ecosystems. So, oh goodness, is it going to go? There we go. So kind of what we're going to go through today is first, we're going to understand entrepreneurial ecosystems, kind of talk through what they are, who plays part of them, and see how it kind of looks at Kenosha County. Next, we're going to be talking about current efforts that Extension and partners are working on. And then finally, we're going to talk about some of our next steps on where we want to go with programming, what programs haven't been set in stone yet, but are in the works and kind of starting to talk. So our first one, like I said, is entrepreneurial ecosystems. So I thought it would be really important to first start off why entrepreneurship. I'm a community development educator. We really focus on with economic development. So kind of looking at entrepreneurship in that economic lens. So some of those reasons why entrepreneurship. So first, job creation. Job growth comes from a lot of startups. So looking at Kenosha County, we have so many different startups going, and it's really a great way. If you're looking west of the I, east of the I, everywhere you look, we have really awesome startups that can be big, they can be small, but they're creating jobs and bringing them to Kenosha County. Next, income growth and poverty reduction. So we've seen that countries and counties with more entrepreneurship do have higher GDPs, my bad. And entrepreneurship shows income growth in urban and rural areas. And they've seen some poverty reduction in rural areas as well within entrepreneurship. So regional stability, oh my goodness, I can't talk today. Stability, I am so sorry. It diversifies types of business. So if you're seeing lots of different influx or just kind of stresses on the area, if you are all in one area, so say every single thing here was manufacturing and something happens to manufacturing. If you have entrepreneurship, you have that kind of diversity, so you have other places to keep the economy kind of in check. So then innovation. So entrepreneurship, it leads to processes, products, and just an increase in variety, which helps kind of keep existing technologies, keep on going, and helps really the consumer get something that's going to fit them best. So say I want to use this TV remote, but someone finds something that fits my hand better. That's going to be a better product for me because of those innovations. So finally, and something that we'll talk about a lot today, is that sense of community. Entrepreneurship can really help create that sense of belonging for entrepreneurs, and it can really give that community a sense of uniqueness and just really make it stand out from other places. So we've talked a lot about what entrepreneurship is. So what is an entrepreneurial ecosystem? So it is defined as all the people, organizations, processes, policies, and relationships that can interact and connect in the local entrepreneurial environment. So every single one of you today sitting at this table are part of the Kenosha County entrepreneurial ecosystem. So if it's you are on the county board, if it's you're working with local entrepreneurs, if you're even consuming and buying things within Kenosha County. So all of that makes you part of this entrepreneurial ecosystem. So it makes it really, really important that we kind of learn about it and see how we can play a part in it and what programs and things we can do to help strengthen it too. So a really awesome quote that we have seen from the Entrepreneurial System Building Playbook Draft 3 is each month, 3 out of every 1,000 people in the US will start a business, but the remaining 997 people constitute a community that plays a substantial role in that entrepreneurial success. So really making sure to know that we are all really an important part of this system. So parts of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, I can't just give you a definition and not explain all the different parts of it. So first, we obviously start with that entrepreneur, and we're going to go around with a few different circles, kind of talking about what other parts play into it and how we can help with that entrepreneurial ecosystem or how our programming can. So not only as somebody who works for the government, somebody who programs in the area, but also even as a consumer. So first is skills. So entrepreneurs need training and education. They need skill development, they need experience, and they need skilled employees and contracts. So trying to make sure that they have that kind of education, make sure that we're providing it somewhere within the county, if it's at the county level, if it's bringing in partners to make sure that they can bring in that education as well. So the next one is going to be, decided to bring 2 on me, so sorry about that. So money, so entrepreneurs need access to capital. That's one thing when you're talking to entrepreneurs. A lot of people always talk about how they need access to capital, and without that access to capital, they can't expand their businesses, they can't grow. So also making sure that they have relationships with banks, because if you don't have the money to start a business, it's a really great idea, but you won't be able to kind of take it off the ground. And then other alternatives and types of financing too, sometimes through grants or through Kiva loans or things along those lines. So next we have culture. So entrepreneurs need openness to risk. So they're going to come to an area where they feel like their risk will be welcomed with open arms and that they feel like they are ready to go and that they can take those kind of risks. And then also just making sure that ambitions, failure, drive, creativity, success, role models, peers, and that positive perception of entrepreneurship. All those things can really create that culture that really makes those entrepreneurs feel welcome and want to expand and bring their businesses to the area. So next we have community. So we talked about community a little bit before, but also with community, you need customers, you need people who are willing to come back to talk to people about it. So say I went to this business and I come here and say, oh my gosh, I went to this one business yesterday, you should all go. So just having those community conversations and then just also making sure that they have those support and really seeing that the community is giving back and wanting them to be there. And then also with specific business tasks too. So that's kind of a catch-all saying, hey, I need this specific thing, and just being able to go to your community and say, hey, is there any way you can help me with this? And making sure pretty much that there's no wrong door policy. So everybody in the community is willing to help them find resources they need. And then finally, we have rules. So entrepreneurs need to understand the rules and regulations set in place. So the taxes, the certifications, and those identities and incentives and benefits that they can seek out. So really making sure that they understand what it is to own a business and start a business in Kenosha County. So there could be certain tax incentives or certain rules that are in place in Kenosha County, but might not be in Racine, or if they're coming up from Cook or Lake County, there might be different things. So really need to make sure that they know what it's like to have a business in Kenosha County. So that was a lot, but now we're going to kind of talk about how we looked at all those things, and we've created some programs with UW Extension. So the first thing I kind of started off with, so back in April this year, I did homegrown entrepreneurship in your community. So we had attendees come in and they received an in-depth view of our local entrepreneurship landscape. A lot of those slides that we just talked through, that was just a slight overview of all the stuff we did. It was a full in-depth day talking about what entrepreneurship looks like specifically in Kenosha County. And then we kind of sat and talked about how we can keep going from there. A lot of those were community partners who already work in entrepreneurship. So kind of hearing how they see entrepreneurship in the area. And I brought a lot of resources from east of the interstate. And then I brought them in and started asking what the relationship were with entrepreneurs west of the interstate too, because they had that divide, and really making sure that we are getting those amazing resources that Kenosha has and making sure they cross the entire county. So I didn't say this earlier, but I am from west of the interstate. I'm out in Twin Lakes. So I absolutely love the area and want to make sure that they're getting those same kind of resources. So seeing that day in and day out, driving through downtown, seeing all those wonderful opportunities, and really wanting to make sure that they also get those similar resources. So this is where a lot of our programming ideas kind of started and have just blossomed from there. So our next, and this is currently my baby kind of that we're going through, and I'm currently a month or so into this project, but creating an entrepreneurial resources webpage. So this is one of our big things that came out of our homegrown program. So our mission statement for this is a roadmap for entrepreneurs at all stages of their entrepreneurial journey to connect with resources in their community. So when we were talking through homegrown, one big thing we kept hearing is we have all these awesome resources, but people just don't know we're here. And over this past year or two, since I've started, we've seen a lot of turnover in the economic development realm of Kenosha County. So a lot of people haven't reconnected. We've had a lot of new people in and out. So it's really been a big group of us sitting down once a month and saying, okay, let's look at all the resources in the county. Let's figure out how we can set them up to help entrepreneurs who are like, hey, I want to start a business in Kenosha County. I would sit there like at least once a week, look up how to do it. And it would take me to 50 million different websites. And I'm like, if I don't have an entrepreneurial background, that might be really, really scary and really kind of overwhelming for me. So trying to kind of condense it and make it a one-stop shop for a lot of that, and then being able to start there and expand. So we ended up through these conversations coming up with 3 different kind of life stages of the business. So business foundation resources, strengthening and sustaining a business, and then business succession planning. So making sure that we're really catching them at every stage. And then this is really a website that we're trying to highlight our community partners and really make sure that those local resources and those resources beyond that are really getting highlighted, because there's a lot of awesome resources at the state level too that individuals might not know about. And then one thing that we've been talking about a lot in these meetings recently has been different rules and regulations saying, okay, how do we get a liquor license in downtown Kenosha? How do we make sure that we have the LLC set up correctly? So, or just saying, hey, I don't know how to access capital. How do I do that? Or one that we're talking about is, hey, I want to do better at my social media marketing. Where do I go from there? So this is kind of encompassing all of it, hitting you at every stage, and then helping you expand from there too. And we know going through this too, we will not be able to have every resource out there, because that would be miles and miles long of having every resource that you can get in Kenosha County. But we're hoping that this will be that kind of starting point. And working with a lot of our entrepreneurial resources in Kenosha County, everybody has a wonderful, wonderful outlook of there is no wrong door. So if I go to WIBIC and say, hey, I need this kind of loan, and they go, I'm so sorry, we don't have that, but here, go over to Community State Bank. They have exactly what you need. So it's a lot of interconnectedness, and I think through a lot of these processes, we have helped reconnect people as well. So our other big thing that we're working on right now too is the Small Business Lunch and Learn series. So this is going to be a 3-event series that's going to teach participants about accessing capital, pricing their products, and digital marketing. So this is going to be happening in October, November, and December. We are going to be hosting it at the Kenosha Public Library, and we are bringing in Libic and the Small Business Development Center to teach on these topics because they have wonderful, wonderful educators that are very well versed in this, have owned businesses, and really know how to highlight these. So they hosted at the library a few months ago, kind of talking about, hey, you're thinking about entrepreneurship, here's how you create that idea. So we decided to partner with the library and kind of go that next step and say, okay, now that you have that idea and you have your business going, what are some of those resources that people are looking at from there? So those are the big 3 projects that we're working on right now, but don't you worry, we are not done yet. We have lots of great ideas coming up too. So some of our upcoming efforts and ideas are surveys. So right now I am working with the Kenosha Area Business Alliance to help them do an investor survey. So that will actually be hopefully coming out on Monday. So if anybody is a Kava investor, you should be getting my survey soon, but that's just trying to help understand better how our community is already interacting with some of our economic development businesses in the area. So it's a lot of those economic development businesses, and we just kind of want to see how they're going. And I'm also in the talks with Visit Kenosha and the bid district down in downtown, talking about maybe helping them out with some of their surveys as well, just to better understand how our entrepreneurs downtown are also interacting with the bid, but interacting with each other, seeing what kind of stuff they need downtown. So another one is community conversations. I am currently right now in talks with Kin and talking to a lot of our uptown businesses too. So I'm currently working on getting a list of those uptown businesses. And then I do plan on going in and starting to talk to some of those entrepreneurs as well, to just see how they're interacting with their current resources and what other resources they currently need. And then some other ones is a needs assessment. I haven't gotten here yet, but I really would love to after doing some of these right now. This past year, I've been doing a lot of businesses have been coming to me and saying, this is what we need, this is what we see. So from a lot of that, I do want to sit down and create kind of a needs assessment and say, all right, from here, where can we go? It looks like these are our gaps that we currently have. What kind of programming can we fill them with? And then also new partnerships. I'm every day talking to new people, meeting with new people, and just trying to expand our network for extension in this capacity, and also send it to my wonderful colleagues as well, who are also doing fantastic work, because just like our economic and entrepreneurial resources, there is no wrong door with extension. So if I can't do it for you, I bet you somebody in extension can. So that is my presentation. I would love to answer any questions, address any concerns you all may have.
I was looking at the website, the entrepreneurial website, and I was starting up a business and I wanted to make sure I was doing the tax reporting properly and doing the receipting properly. I mean, I've seen businesses, people that are doing this, they bring in a shoebox still today. Does it have something to click on to guide them through? TurboTax or QuickBooks or, receiving systems.
Yeah, so we are still working on some of those. We are meeting again in 2 weeks, but we do have the Wisconsin Procurement Institute. We also are working on getting all those on there too. And I'm also hoping that when we go on there too, if somebody doesn't want to go through TurboTax or something, if I can get somebody they can contact too, because somebody has a shoebox too, they might not necessarily be able to sit down and do all of it on laptop, because I do have a statistic, I don't have it up right now, but a lot of our entrepreneurs are in the higher age bracket too. So some of them might not be as accustomed to technology. So I am working on making sure that we can get all those different resources in, and I'm hoping that in this next meeting, I'll get even more from the individuals who have been working in the area for longer.
And I've seen some people come in that didn't realize they had to pay tax. They didn't. So I believe this helps them a bit.
Yes, that will definitely be on the list of things that they need to do or look out for sure.
In my, excuse me, in my professional career, I did work in workforce development. And, excuse me. And we were trying to help industry find employees. And one of the biggest hurdles in that was people had bad credit, bad driving records, indebtedness, and it become impediments to getting employment, right? And therefore employers having trouble finding people and filling positions. So if I take that knowledge for a young person to start a business, our research at Snap-on told us that a higher percentage of them have these problems: indebtedness, and bad credit. And if you have that, you will never be in business. And to recover from that takes forever, right? So I just throw this out because it's how do we help young people in our county understand this and not make these bad decisions that will affect their lives forever in a negative way. They'll never be an entrepreneur. So, you know, just a personal experience. I don't know. This is our county, right? We're competing with other counties across the country and around us. I think we need to maybe, I don't know, do we address this through having bankers go and talk to young people in classrooms in the high schools, etc., to help them so that here's what they should have: good credit and money. If you have those things, now you can get in business. But if you have the other way, you can't.
Absolutely. I was about to say, I know a lot of our high schools currently. I was actually doing some deep diving about this too, because I was thinking back to my high school times. I was like, you know, I didn't learn how to network until I got into this position. So I was thinking, I was like, maybe we can do something like networking wise for high schoolers. But I was looking into current programs that they have for high schoolers, and they have a lot of really awesome entrepreneurial idea kind of stuff. So they have DECA, they have, oh goodness, I'm not remembering the other ones off the top of my head, but I know that I believe for DECA, Wilmot just went out to nationals, and they had, I think, 4 or 5 students qualify for that. So they have a lot of really awesome business programs in the high schools. And actually for that homegrown program, I did try to get some of the high schools involved from west of the interstate, but I wasn't able to contact them after multiple times. So I do think though that that's super important. That was something else that got brought up, was getting more young people involved and interested. And for those who are past that point of being in high school and need that support, they do have certain things. So I know Kiva loans, I do believe those help for individuals who might not be able to have the credit to go get loans from a bank or something along those lines too. So WIBIC, SBDC, the Kiva loans, they do try to help individuals who are entrepreneurs who don't have access to the specific resources that are just open to everybody too.
So I was a teacher at one time. And if you did an exercise with a student, how to plan to buy something, right? You know, you have to go out and make some money, you have to save your money, and you have to do your research and all these kind of things. That plan is the same as a business plan, if you think about it. So it seems to me that encouraging students can learn things, young people can learn things by accident, by you know, how to make a go-kart, right? Put a motor on a frame or whatever. You learn a process, and that process is the same as a business plan. So, you know, I mentioned to you earlier, 4-H, teaching a course as a entrepreneur course at 4-H might be a helpful place. So I'm just throwing out ideas for thought.
Absolutely.
So I have a question about, I don't want to be entrepreneur in Kenosha County, and I find your phone number, And then what happens? Because I have to assume the homegrown isn't happening right now, like, how do you help me?
Yeah, absolutely. So I might ask some questions too along the lines of where are you currently at? What are you looking for? And kind of going through that. So I might also show you once that website's up, say, hey, which one are you looking for? Let's look at, are you currently just at the foundations point? Do you already have your business? Do you want to keep going? Or are you looking to succeed your business to somebody else? So I will help you talk through that too. And I can help sit down and kind of look through those resources and send you off to the person who will be able to help you best. And if you continue on that conversation, say you get to talk to Wibbick and it's like, oh no, I need a very personalized mentor who's in this specific area, they might send you over to SCORE, who is a retired business individual who owned a business who can help you through those stages too. So I would help guide you to that next person.
Do you also help with building nonprofits?
I am not currently doing that, but I would be open to the
Well,
idea.
there's a lot of misperceptions out there that I own a nonprofit. You know, people say, I own this nonprofit. If you don't own a nonprofit, that's kind of the beauty of a nonprofit. But there are also a lot of people who want to be in the nonprofit world who do not have the ability to do it either. And we don't have a means to say, well, so it would be a good resource. I don't know.
Absolutely, and extensions. I'm so sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. Extension statewide, they do have a lot of awesome nonprofit resources too. So if you came to me and said, hey, I want to start a nonprofit, that's the beauty of extension. We never send you away without some sort of information. So I'll say, let me look at it. I will get back to you and I can help gather those resources and send that to you as well. So that's not currently in the website for the entrepreneurship, but that could be something we could say, hey, looking for a nonprofit and have another tab going to.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for Savannah?
Well, thank you all so much for your feedback and listening. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Right, now we have the
Educator reports?
Yep.
Okay, great. We'll start with 4-H and Carolyn.
Okay. Our big focus for this past month has been camps. And in June, we did 2 camps collaborating with Racine County. We like to pool our resources between their 4-H and our 4-H. And we did a camp out at Vaughn Recreation Facility. We worked with their naturalists who did an outstanding program for us. And it was just nice to tap into that resource that's in our backyard. So we had a good relationship with that, and we had teen counselors that planned activities, crafts, and things to keep the kids busy. Over 2 days, we had 78 youth attending that camp. Today, Camille and I just got back from another camp being held in the Union Grove Fairgrounds. And so that was for K through 2nd grade. We had about 30 there. And so that's just kind of been the focus, is keeping the kids busy and giving them educational opportunities this summer.
Are those day camps?
Yes.
Any other questions? Any other questions for Carolyn? No? All right. Camille?
Yes.
The youth development.
Yes, so I think one of the biggest things I helped facilitate was the Youth and Governance Bus Tour. It took place on June 26th, and I think it was a success, but I'm sure Juniper could also share her reflections if she was up for it. But it seemed like it was a really long day, to be honest. It was 8 to 5, and we met a lot of great people, and they were really engaging with the youth. They offered like job shadowing for a day, or maybe coming back for an internship later in their high school or college career. So I thought that was really great of all the different Kenosha County employees to just make aware to the youth and offer that. I know some things will have to be updated though for next year, like the executive committee probably won't be needing YIG members for the upcoming year. So I wanted to ask about like the voting process and like YIG handbook update procedure. I will also be hopefully meeting with youth to like ask for their input on any updates for the YIG handbook. I started asking the returning members for since they have a year of experience under their belt, and I'll probably prioritize their schedules for meetings before I invite the rest of youth. But on their evaluation forms, they shared a lot of great insights. So on like things that can make their experience better, just like I'm sure they'll have helpful inputs too for the handbook. But yeah, just wanted to flag that and ask like that procedure here, how to make YIG handbook changes with PDEC.
I have absolutely no idea. Monica, can you speak to that?
Regarding the youth and governance when they vote,
Just, I think,
if you're looking to change what's in the handbook, you would start with the committee. And in the end, doesn't mean you couldn't get input from you and make the suggestions, but that would be one of the times the committee would vote because it would be you approving that. Since you have oversight of the youth governance program. And so we did make some changes, I don't know, a few years ago is my understanding, and then that's what happened. So it would have to be with approval from the committee.
okay, yeah, because I think a few years ago, they approved to have YIG members for the executive committee, but now we'll have to adjust that for this upcoming board term. But yeah, so that was that. And then YAR has been going good. We're also in the handbook review stage. They had their fundraiser. I'm sure it was successful. I haven't heard an update from them, but yeah. And then I'm also just continuing to meet new people in the county and build relationships. So.
Juniper, tell us about the bus tour.
It was a lot of fun, honestly. It was a lot of, well, one, everyone was like, do internships during college because that way you can learn what you want to do because you don't have to make a decision right away, which honestly, as you get further into high school, I feel like a lot of people tell you that, but I think it's always useful because it kind of solidifies that. I think even today you were mentioning about a lot of resources that Kenosha County has that people just don't know about. I feel like especially human resources, I felt like that was brought up over and over again where like they have so many websites and pamphlets and people just don't know where to find them. And I felt that was both insightful and also pretty interesting now that I know about them. Like I've had I don't know if I've had friends ask about sort of stuff like that, but like if I were to ever have people like come up to me, be like, hey, do you know anything about this? Or talk to me about their issues, I'd be like, oh, here's this thing. And I think that's pretty interesting. And yeah.
Was it a long day?
It was a long day. But Brookside gave us really good food. I will say that.
I was impressed with Brookside's lunch.
Yeah.
And I'll start planning out like the service project timeline, and it seems like the YIG members were excited to start talking about like a project to do, and Juniper mentioned like the human resources thing, so that brought up a lot too.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of people were especially interested in human resources, so I feel like it's probably where people are going to focus, but I am also really excited for the service project. That's gonna be fun to start.
Thank you.
And the service project actually is a great segue into changing the handbook. Right now, a service project isn't even mentioned in the handbook. So it would be you all deciding, do you want to make it mandatory? Is it optional, but yet it gets a mention so that youth know that, oh, well, we do have this option right now. They are doing it purely optional, but it could be something that you choose to add to the handbook.
Does anyone have any questions for me?
Did I hear you say that executive committee does not have youth and governance?
Currently they do have 2 youth assigned. Back in March, at that time, the executive committee was meeting monthly, so youth were attending for the past cohort. But since this new county board term has come around, Chairman Uhas shared that the executive committee would only be meeting like every 3 to 4 months. Yeah, so then the youth just wouldn't have that monthly committee experience and benefit from those meetings. So yeah, currently the 2 youth who are assigned to executive committee are attending human services committee meetings when executive committee isn't meeting. So, but they're supposed to prioritize executive committee meetings when they come up.
Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't want to have an executive committee if there wasn't any items.
Yeah,
I'm not, and in the past, the executive committee has been when needed.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a meeting in June. I don't know that we'll have one in July because we're waiting on documents to come back.
Yeah.
So that's why I felt it was best to let the gig go to another committee. And I still keep in contact with my mentees, and I've sent them the budget, I've sent them links to documents, we're in touch. But they're enjoying having the option to attend both. They're very eager.
Yeah, I would say everyone's really eager this year, and I am using a new tool, the Band app, for communication, because it seems like email wasn't the best method this past year, and lots of small wins, like the youth are like adding to the calendar and like group chatting each other about like the parade the other week, asking about costumes. So I think it's a really great way for them to connect with each other and just like in regards to their committee meetings too. So I mean Juniper could share as well her.
I mean, I think my favorite part is the picture folders that we have access to, because I know some of my friends are like, oh, what are you doing in youth and governance? And I'm like, here are pictures of me during the bus tour, which I think is always fun.
Yeah, and shout out to Savannah for her help with those photos during that day. So yeah, but I'm glad to hear you like the photo aspect. Did you see I updated the one album? Because it doesn't give up. Like I wasn't sure if I should make a new poster. It was the orientation album.
I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe I'll make a post about it, but yeah.
And the mentors have access to the album as well.
Yeah, definitely. I could create like a Google Drive, I'm sure, or maybe something on SharePoint so that you guys don't have to create a whole account for the.
Because it would be nice to see with the youth. Because if we're with them, we're active. So it would be nice to be able to look at photos and keep them for our own memory and reference.
Okay, yeah, definitely, that's a great suggestion.
Thank you.
I'll look into that.
So I just wanna, the parade was a blast. We had Sasha, JJ, and, oh my gosh, what's her name?
Was it Claire?
Yeah, Claire. And they dressed up and we had several county board members. And they had so much fun, and I just love that they participated and were excited about it. JJ was just over the moon. He's like, this is my second year. This is the best thing I've ever done as youth in governance. It was really a lot of fun. So, I'm so glad that they did that.
That's great. No, thank you for inviting them. Do you have photos from that day by chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe does. No.
Okay, I can help you with that. You need to set up a public facing album. Feel free to reach out on that.
Okay, sweet. That would be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Share them with me too, we'll put them on social media. We have a Facebook and an Instagram now.
Oh, wow. Well done. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
So in the last month and then extending into this month, I have been doing some education with the Family Self-Sufficiency Program with the Housing Authority. So it is a specific voluntary program of folks that receive Section 8 vouchers. So I've been working with the Housing Authority staff person for a number of years now to provide financial education, as it is a goal setting, and they kind of have a separate savings account, and it really is working towards self-sufficiency. So we are talking to them about basics of credit, scores, reports, history, things of that nature. So the second one's coming up next week. Also in the last month, I was able to do a mental health first aid training with some DNR staff. And then my third piece of news is this is actually going to be my last PDEC meeting. I've accepted a new position with Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. So I will be transitioning out of this role basically at the end of July. And then I'm sure Pam will have updates after that.
We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Wow. Mary, how long have you been with?
6 years. So yeah, it's been great. Extension is a fabulous little gem in a community. So So it's been fun to work with everyone over the years and all the different rotations of board committee. So I just really appreciate the opportunity, and I've learned a ton about the county. I mean, I've lived in Kenosha my whole life, but have learned a lot from working here. So.
Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mary?
No, but thank you for your years of service and best of luck to you in your new endeavor. That's exciting.
Yeah, thank you.
What is your new position?
It is going to be a mental and behavioral health access navigator.
Well, good for you. Yeah, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
We'll have BJ go next. He's
Oh, okay.
joining us
Yeah.
remotely. So BJ.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vijay Pandian. I'm a horticulture extension educator. Sorry I couldn't be in person. My apologies. In the month of May, we got about 6.34 inches of rain total. And that's one of the highest record in Kenosha area in the last 3 years of record. And in turn, that huge amount of rain really helped us out a lot in terms of completely smashing out the spongy moth, which is an invasive insect that's been defoliating many of the oak trees in the west part of Kenosha County in the last 3 years. So in May, the county actually approved an aerial spray program in one of the epicenter area. And that really wiped out completely about 100% the spongy moth. However, there are certain spots in the far west part of the county, even though they did not get any spray, the rain really helped out in spreading some natural diseases. And initially people got alarmed in the first 2 weeks in June. So when I sent out an aerial drone, I saw some areas where completely the oaks were being stripped out. But soon now, because of the rain that kind of helped in spreading up the diseases, many of those caterpillars got infected. By the 4th week of June, most of them got really wiped out. So none of these caterpillars have reached out to the pupal stage. So people are happy. And I can really see from the drone survey that many trees have been refoliating back again. And I shared this information with the town of Randall committee meeting a few weeks ago. And we had a lot of people participating in the meeting and had a lot of questions about it. So it was really good to interact with local residents and let them know about the situation of the spongy moth in that area. Any questions about the spongy moth situation? No. Okay. Cicadas, they are popular in Lake Geneva area, but in the far west part of Kenosha, no, it is not. So during my assessment, I was able to spot only 1 or 2, maybe 3 of them, in such certain property areas, but not a whole lot. So it's not a big hit in far west part of Kenosha. Just want to let you guys know about it. The rain really actually triggered a lot of, lush foliation, but at the same time, people are complaining about too many weeds on hand. So I've been getting a lot of calls and inquiries about managing the garden weeds and landscaping weeds in those type of inquiries. So approximately we got about more than 150 inquiries in the month of June, especially on gardening and landscaping related one. So the number of inquiries have went up in the month of June. So focusing on my trial studies, so I was able to successfully plant sweet potatoes in 2 different locations. One in Sturtevant, the Wisconsin Correctional Institute facility in Sturtevant. And say this past winter, I got a $6,000 grant. And using the grant money, we were able to build about like 38 raised beds at the Correctional Institute facility. And the objective of the study is to compare the different varieties of sweet potatoes and which variety actually is more feasible for homeowners to grow them in a raised bed situation. So we've been assessing, we have planted about 25 different varieties of sweet potatoes, some of them from Japan, some of them from southern part of United States, and some of them from central part of United States. So it'll be interesting to see which varieties performs better especially for Wisconsin conditions. And so this will be a 2-year trial study. So this will be the first year. Say a part of the trial study is also located here at the Kenosha County Center at my vegetable garden area, right across my office as well. And in the month of May and June, I've been teaching regularly with the Correctional Institute at Sturtevant. About 12 inmates, take part in this program, gardening program. So I've been doing some direct teaching with them on every Thursday morning. And they have a huge community garden over there as well too. So it's also a combination of both indoor as well as in a hands-on type of activity as well too. The other type of direct teaching is about working with the Teen Task Force program. So the Teen Task Force in a program, they are having a raised beds at the YMCA in Kenosha County. And this year we got about like 8 or 9 kids coming from different type of background. So it's really interesting to see some diversity in my class. And these kids are very thrilled about, getting to learn about, soil preparation. They've had a chance of tasting some strawberries that they planted last year. They're all in fruited. They engaged in planting potatoes, onions, tomatoes, peppers, and all those things. And we've been meeting on every other week, beginning in the month of May and certain parts in June on Friday evenings. So that program went very well as well. So I think that's pretty much. Any questions?
All right, no questions, but thank you so much, Vijay.
Thank you.
EJ. All right, and then wrapping up, I've started budget talks with Chris Walton, so we're preparing for next month and the fall. So just want to let you know that is underway for us. Ann Cohenstrott, who was with Extension in Alaska, starts on Monday. So we're very excited. She's our diversified vegetable and emerging crops educator, and the position have been vacant for 3 years now. So we're thrilled to have her with us. She'll spend Monday in Madison doing some onboarding, and then Tuesday and Wednesday in Wausau, connecting with crops and soils educators and getting to know Extension more and her colleagues and the programs that we offer. And then she'll be, jumping in with both feet here in Kenosha starting on Thursday. So glad to have her on board. We're going to be represented at the county fair again this year, so we're really excited about that. So we will have a table there and be with the other departments in that square there, kind of by the SWAT building. So excited about that. Food wise, the regional program manager and the program manager and I met with the FoodWise staff to see what sort of qualities they would like to see in their future leader, so their future program administrator. And so it was great spending the morning with them, finding out what qualities they value, what really, obviously what they're looking for in their leader. We want to make sure there's a smooth transition, that we have someone who's very connected and involved and engaged with them. And that's really important to them with strong communication skills. So it was great. And they really appreciated that opportunity to meet with us. And so now we'll be moving forward with putting together the necessary paperwork and starting the search process for our program administrator. And then finally on June 28th, we had our Area 22, which is Kenosha and Racine counties, our professional development day. We spent the whole day, we try to have one of those twice a year. And so this was our spring summer one, and we were at Hawthorne Hollow, and we spent great time growing and connecting and learning together as an Area 22 staff. Our morning focused on understanding disability and accessibility through definitions and models and practices. And that was led by a state specialist. And then Mary, along with Sarah Hawks, who's an educator in Racine County, did a self-compassion 101 session. So, taking care of us too. And that important, when you take care of us, you can take care of others and be more focused at work. And then the final session was on identities and understanding our identities and the effect they have it with the work that we do in the community. And Savannah led that along with Maria Gaten Martinez, who is an educator in Racine County. So it was great having our own in house experts, leading us in sessions. So I'd say the only downer that day is it rained, so we didn't get to go on the paths. They were all muddy. But, oh, yeah, fair enough. But we had a lovely time together, so it's great. Those are my updates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Pamela? No?
When is the county fair?
It's the 14th. It starts on the 14th.
It starts on Wednesday with the
Yeah,
kids.
with the kids, because that's the why, because I'm like, with the kids, we have to have that, right?
Wednesday through Sunday, yes, but,
It's the 13th is the Wednesday, so it really starts 13th for the kids, and then the 14th.
they bring all their projects
Yeah.
and things. Monday and Tuesday, they're judged.
Okay, so
Monday and
off.
Tuesday, except for the animal projects are judged throughout the fair.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So we're gonna take a break until 7. We will.
I'll turn off the camera and the mic.
Thanks. So we're gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order.
I have to mute, yeah, I thought I did. And now? No, I was muted.
Oh, you need to turn your volume down too.
And that, okay. How about now? So here's my screen, I showed you the camera.
I have to know because he's the presenter.
So maybe, let me think here.
This is what they call it a swap one.
He's thinking this. Isn't that weird?
So here's some work.
Try it
How
now.
about this? Now it's coming through there.
Oh, is that you?
Okay, how about now?
Okay,
Cool. Okay, all right.
All right, so that was a feedback.
all right. So now I'm gonna call the meeting to order at 7:02. And do an announcement of the committee members. I'm Guido Brown, the chair. Frederick Burkhouse, the vice chair. Monica Uhas. David Kirsten
Okay,
and
have the-
Juniper Crescent is youth and governance. Okay. Do we have what?
He's not here,
Who?
Kevin Rising.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, sorry for the.
That's okay. Okay,
Might
so.
have to go look. Would you mind stepping out there? Either way.
Go look.
Sure, thanks. Sorry.
That's all right. So any items to be tabled or remain tabled?
Yes, so we will have, items, 8 and 9 will remain tabled.
Okay. Then, checking to see if Kevin is here, is that? That's first up, right?
Yeah, while we wait for that, I can let you know that, this public hearing was posted in the Kenosha News as required 2 times.
June 25th and July 2nd.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yesterday there was a work session. And in it was discussed. I was there.
Yeah, so we had 2 members present and we went over the agenda and covered all the items as well as we had some discussion about some other things. But so that really everyone knows that, you know, a lot of things were discussed, but we're here to hear from the petitioner still. Okay, then we'll move to item number 5. And so this is the review and possible approval and appointment of Kevin Reisig to the Hooker Lake Management District Board. I have to say that it was our understanding that he was going to be here because he's a new member. Typically, when we have reappointments, unless there's something that's happened, we don't require them to come. But he has been appointed by the county executive to fill this seat. He has been involved, if you look at his resume, involved with the district. And so I know that some of the committee had questions just to try to understand maybe the background and goals and objectives. So I'm not sure what the committee would want to do without him being here.
If it's okay with the chair, I'd make a motion to approve and then discuss it if I get a second.
Second.
So, if it's okay, I can comment. Perhaps it could be made available. We could contact him, and if any of the committee have questions in order to keep this moving ahead, we could call him. And you could, make him aware that we thought he would be here tonight, and if anyone wanted to call him and talk to him and ask him questions, that would be okay. And then ask him to be at the board meeting on Tuesday. So, but with that, I would be okay with moving it ahead, just so we don't stall the.
Any further discussion?
Is this unusual that the person doesn't come before the committee for approval?
I mean, I would say for a person, we want them to be here when they're being appointed for the very first time, just because you want them to be able to express, who they are, what they're doing, why they're being appointed. But I think the proposal that Dave has is good in being able to keep this moving forward. And then if any committee members wants to be in contact with, we can, get you his contact and you can talk to him. And then we can ask him to be present for not being here, but be there at the board.
We did email him the agenda and invited him to come, but I didn't say he was required.
Oh, that's,
So maybe I need to add that to my invitation email then, since your first appointment to this committee. We asked it to attend.
Is it required actually, or it's just maybe a suggestion?
I think it's more of a committee policy.
Yeah, there's really no rules on it. That's just how we've worked it. I'm not even sure how other committees have done that exactly, but that's how we've done it here. So I think Dave's idea is a good one to keep it moving forward, and certainly it gives opportunity. And if there's a problem, then you just don't approve on Tuesday.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve and you'll provide phone number. If somebody wants to contact him, you'll let him know somebody may be contacting him, and strongly recommend that he show up at the board meeting on Tuesday, full board meeting. Okay?
Is there a second?
Monica.
Yeah,
I thought so, I didn't quite catch it.
all right, so youth and governance, how do you vote? Aye. And everyone else? Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, is anyone opposed? Yes. Is anyone abstaining? No, okay, good, all right, thank you.
Oh, that's
Carries.
yes.
Okay.
So then we can move on to item number 6, which is Robert J. and Dawn M. Conrad, 22122 60th Street, Bristol, Wisconsin, 53104, owner, requesting an amendment of certified survey map 9, number 2993 via an affidavit of correction received by Planning Development May 14th, 2024, and drafted by Mark R. Maston of Nielsen, Maston and Barber to remove the no vehicular access restriction along the frontage of lot 3 of certified survey map number 2993, being tax parcel number 304-220-3630113, located in the town of Brighton. So I have a map here, and while we get this set up, well, the petitioner is already here, but you can see the property is outlined in yellow. And this was a larger parcel that was split into 3 on Highway K 60th Street. But I wanted to also bring up the CSM, and you would have a copy of that. And I guess while I'm looking for it, I'm not seeing it. If the petitioner, could you state your name and address and then why you're asking for this?
Yes, I am Robert J. Conrad, address 22122 60th Street, Bristol, Wisconsin, 53104. What I am asking is that the restriction that was put on the front of this parcel, it's a 17-acre parcel, be removed. Currently, the access through the for the property is through lot number 2. It is a shared driveway with the neighbor on that property. Although when I further investigated this, there was no legal restriction put on this property. I don't know why it was ever on there. And the access to the property right now is not really conducive for that 17 acres of vacant land, which is also farmland. The way it is set up, it is very difficult to bring any kind of big machinery in there, or say a semi full of grain or anything like that. And as far as I can see, and everyone I've talked to, there is really no reason why there is a restriction on there. So what I'm asking for is to be able to put my own driveway in, which there is a pretty much a constructed driveway already, but it cuts over into the second lot, which not to get too far out of the realm, but that piece of property, they're looking to put in an event barn there. And that driveway would then be shared with their business if that ever gets approved. So, but like I said, right now, I'm just looking to have it changed to make it more conducive for my farming practices that I use there. The letter that was drafted from the Kenosha County DPW, when I inquired about this, it says that it seems that the access restriction of the subject's parcel frontage was implemented by the subdivider independently without any request from the Department of Public Works, DPW Highways Division. Upon thorough review of our records, there's no evidence indicated that the DPW Highway Division initiated such a request. Given that the access prohibited was not solicited by the DPW Highways Division, we have no objection to the removal of the restriction. Doing so would facilitate more suitable access arrangements for the subject's parcel. This was signed by Kwame. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. I'm a guess who's, I know, no longer with the Kenosha County Highway Department, but this was dated, I believe this was May. Actually, he didn't put a date on here. So that's what, all I'm looking to do is put in a culvert and an entrance to this property. So it would have its own independent entrance to it. I was in a meeting on Monday with the town of Brighton. They approved it and carried forward with no objection of the plan that I want to do. So that's why I'm here tonight, to see if that can be corrected with the county, obviously.
Thank you. And basically from a standpoint of our office, I mean, we rely on the highway department for access. And so anytime we have these situations, we're going to rely on them. They have an access ordinance that they're going to look at to make sure that public safety is held. And in this case, we're relying on their comment in that from their review, there isn't a reason why there should be a restriction of the property. So on the map that we have now up here, you can see in the circle in red, the restriction, and then the hash marks, actually on lot 1 and 3, and then the locations of where the access is to be. And it is correct in regards to the middle property, lot 2, that we've had discussions with them on using that as an event barn. And so that if that happens, that access that would be shared in this case on weekends and Fridays would get quite busy.
All right, any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
How wide are you anticipating on having your driveway?
The original permit that was granted to me from Kwame was for a 36-foot culvert there, which is the largest obviously I can get, which would allow larger machinery to be pulled in there. I think currently it is about a 16-foot.
That's standard.
It's a little tight, which is standard. It's a little tight, and it makes a very severe little S curve to get into this lot. And it is almost impossible to get a big piece of machinery in there without actually running through half the ditch. So the driveway that I'm looking to do will be wider for the event either the east or the west to be able to make that turn. And then it's pretty much a straight shot where there is currently a, I don't know how you really word it, but it is a somewhat of a driveway that was put in by the gentleman that originally subdivided it. And then it just makes a little S curve and cuts into that lot number 2. So the driveway that I am requesting would then be a straight shot into lot number 3.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the public wishing to speak for the petition? Anyone from the public wishing to speak for the petition? Anyone from the public wishing to speak against the petition? Anyone from the public wishing to speak against the petition? All in favor? Oh, I need a motion.
Before you do, just from the town, as stated by the petitioner, met on this on July 8th. The motion was made to approve and it was unanimous. Thank you.
David, I think you were going to say something.
Well, I don't want to hog all the motions, but I'll move approval, so.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Motion to approve, motion and seconded, I'm sorry. All those, Juniper? Aye. Aye. Anyone else?
Aye.
In favor, anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, the only other question I have, do I need to acquire a further permit for this?
If you've already obtained your access permit,
I did.
then that
But
is
it
all.
was dated because at the time, I didn't realize how extensive this would be, and I think it was dated July 6th. So, which, and there was no fee to obtain that. I just went to the Department of Highway and they initiated it. But I'd have to look it up. I think it was the 6th or maybe it is the 10th of July, which is actually today. So I didn't know if I needed to go and have that re-upped.
I would give them a call on
Okay.
that, and then you also just have to wait for this correction instrument to be recorded.
Okay,
And we can take care of that with this in a couple days.
okay. And is there any fees for any permit? I thought Ben had mentioned something about there might be some,
There is a $30 fee,
that's it.
and if it wasn't paid initially, then we will need that.
Okay, is that to the Highway Department,
That
County
is to the Register of Deeds.
Register of Deeds? Okay,
Right.
good.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good. Thank you. Good. Thank you.
It's their agenda here, it comes back. And we can move on to the next item, which is M&W Properties LLC, 8020 328th Avenue, Burlington, Wisconsin, 53105 owner. Woodrow Edgell, 8020 328th Avenue, Burlington, Wisconsin, 53105 agent, requesting a conditional use permit to allow an expansion of an existing construction contractor's warehouse in the B5 wholesale trade and warehousing district on tax parcel number 954-119-014-0101 located in the town of Wheatland. And with this, we have a map. I'll show you so you know where it is. Right here on Highway 50. So originally there was a conditional use permit to build this building here, which is the main building. And then was it 2018?
It's about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
5, 6.
He came back and asked for an amendment to allow this building to be built, which was approved in the same design and style as the original building. And now he is asking for an amendment to add a third building, and I wanted to show that to you. So while I bring that up, if you can just state your name and then your address, and then maybe just kind of fill in exactly what you're looking at doing with this building for the video.
My name is Woodrow T. Edgell. The address is 31902 Geneva Road, Salem, Wisconsin. And I'm building a car truck garage for my trucks next to the last building I built. And it's pretty much just for storing. I got 10 trucks, 6 of them on the road all the time. The other 4 are backed up trucks. So I know I've had several trucks sitting outside, and we're not supposed to do that, part of my conditional use. So it's just time to figure out. And then I got a boat too. I got to put in there, some of the hot rod cars. So, and my other one's getting packed. So I figure I need a garages. My business to expand.
So we have on the screen the building, the plan showing the elevations. And then this is where the location is. So this is the second building. The first building is over here. This is the second building, and this is the location of the third building where that will be. So lighting plan, so that's what you have before you.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do. What is the exterior of the building going to consist of?
The exterior, same as the other buildings, it's gonna be pole barn style,
Okay.
blue, 3 feet of brick, same thing as the other two buildings, so it matches. Be one window, facing the street, to give it a little decorative look. The back side is facing the train tracks, I don't have any windows there. For the reasons of, lighting. Or towards the farm field. This is, corrugated steel, the inside will be plywood. And, steel on the roof, that's inside, the outside is, look like the other ones, if you ever drive by, they're blue, so. And have lights at every garage door. And lighting would be, not bright, be according to the other lighting issues that we've had in the other buildings, not too bright.
Right, you just both cut off lightings, and just we have the lighting plan that indicates that it's not gonna be shining off the property.
Everything's the same pretty much as, additional uses, the other two buildings. I don't run a shop out there, just a storage area. We're there in the morning. And then we're not there, I may come at the end of the day, bring some stuff back in. But it's pretty much, it's just in the morning, we get together, rent 4 or 5 trucks, load them up, and run away on the road the whole day. I'm in the field the whole day. So there's not much traffic. I only have 6 employees. I have 10 subcontractors, but they never come to the shop. Really, they meet at the job sites. Once in a while, they'll come get material, but it's low key.
Thank you.
Right.
Any other questions? Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak for this petition? Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak for this petition? Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak against this petition? Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak against this petition? Right. What did the town recommend?
So the town of Wheatland did meet on this on July 8th. The motion was made to approve and it passed unanimously.
Right, thank you.
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Right, it's been moved and approved, moved and seconded, sorry, I keep saying that, moved and seconded to approve the petition. Jennifer? Aye. Aye. Everyone else?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? Is there anyone abstaining? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. And so then just in regards to the items that are tabled and remaining tabled, last month, I did ask the committee and the committee approved for us to send a letter that we need to have action. And then, the day we were mailing the letter out and it went out, email was sent to us with new plans. So it was great. So they modified some things and they're gonna need to modify their application. They have done so. It looks like they will have to withdraw their rezone request and keep their CUP, and then they're gonna have to request a comp plan amendment. So they're moving ahead. The town of Wheatland will be acting on this, I believe, in August, so we really won't see this until September, which is fine because they're moving ahead and it looks like everything's in order now. So we're happy about that.
We good?
You're good. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you much.
Thank you. All right, anyone have any questions about?
One question. Andy, can you refresh the committee's memory? Do these approvals tonight not require board approval?
So the appointment does.
I'm sorry, the appointment does, but
Yeah.
these two.
The amendment, the affidavit of correction, and the CUP do not.
Okay. So neither of these two.
Correct.
Required. Just the appointment. Thank you. That's my question.
All right. Sure.
Before you do, yeah, we have a couple other things.
Okay.
Yep.
Approval on the June 12th minutes?
So moved.
Yeah, some,
So
all
moved.
right. A second.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Jennifer? Aye. Anyone else?
Aye.
I will not vote on them because I was not here, so I cannot speak to the context of the minutes.
Yeah, so we'll have to just move that to the next
Yeah.
one, which is fine when we have a full forum of those present, yeah.
Citizens' comments, I'm guessing there are not gonna be any citizens' comments this evening. Any other business allowed by law?
And so just for information, we will be meeting in August. We have, these items will be on there, but they're tabled, and then we have just one other item to go through. And so, with that, on the work session, I'm not anticipating having one. And if you have any questions on the item, you can call me. And so I think that would be the way, sometimes we do that when it's kind of a simple one with one item.
So no work session in August.
Correct.
What about September where it conflicts?
It's a good point. So yeah, Dave, you brought that up yesterday. So in September, Dave had indicated that there is the Golf Cup, that's what I was speaking about. Yeah, county event and fundraiser golfing, and that is at the same time that we would have the work session. So I think at this point, we know we're gonna have the tabled items in September, or we anticipate they will be. So we can move that to a different time, a different day. We could look to move it on that Monday, if everyone is okay with that. I think that one, we definitely want to meet on that because this is the comp plan rezone CUP of the item that has been tabled for so long. And we know that there are citizens that came to the first meeting when it was tabled. And so I'm sure we're gonna hear some comments from some citizens. So we want to make sure we cover everything with this, that one. Does it look okay for a Monday?
Work for me.
Same time, just on Monday? Yeah, okay. So we'll just make note of that we'll have the work session in September on that Monday.
That's great. Thanks for this.
Yeah, and then we won't have one in August.
Right.
Excellent.
And
So then I guess that would just mean then, if that's okay, Davis, that we would, and we can change this, but the discussion of the committee in regards to the UW extension memo that was sent out, we were looking to have Pam and or other people that she would want to attend to just kind of brief the committee on that. We were thinking of maybe doing it in August, but we could also still do it in September if you're okay with that.
With me.
Okay, okay,
September at the
Yeah.
evening.
at that work session on Monday.
Okay,
Right, right.
okay. Thank you. Now, then can motion to adjourn.
Yeah, just say one other thing too. that I wanted.
I'm done.
Just so you know, sorry, because we have this committee has been invited to Cava to meet next Thursday. And so, I mean, because there's a potential for quorum, we will be noticing that in the weekly agenda. And that was mentioned and we checked it, yes. So I'm done.
Okay,
I'm finished.
somebody else want to move?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, motion carries. Thank you.
All right, we're finished.